Good day and welcome to the Power Up. I'm your host, Tami Hill Thomas. Glad to join you today as we educate, equip, empower, and elevate each other so that we make a difference in our communities, ultimately for a better world. Let's get started with Inside the News. Sadly, we're learning that measles deaths have increased up to 40% since 2022, primarily because of the shortage of vaccines due to the increase of COVID vaccines as a result of the COVID pandemic. It's important to know this information because it's not just an international issue across the water, but it also is important to our nation and where we live. Measles deaths globally have spiked. Cases rose after vaccination levels dramatically dropped, leading to health organizations alarming the concern. You should be aware. The highly infectious disease triggered many epidemics in more than 37 countries just last year, 22 the prior year. It sickened 9 million children and killed over 13 million individuals. 13 million, mostly in the poorest countries throughout our globe. The World Health Organization is sounding an alarm. You can go to who.int to get more information. The number of measles cases continues to increase, primarily because of the low vaccine levels. And 2 doses of measles vaccines are what's highly recommended. So children in countries like Africa and Southeast Asia, Latin America, and even India are at the greatest risks. Please get educated and go to the World Health Organization. See what you can do to contribute to the cause of helping our children. Also in the news, we elevate the alarm that pharmacies are facing shortages of common drugs. Again, most have put their efforts into what we can do to face the pandemic that just took a global reach, multiple millions of deaths. Well, now, as pharmaceutical companies are recovering, there are many that have shared that most common drugs are still out of stock. Prescriptions that many use on a regular basis. There are shortages that are getting more complicated outside of pharmacies' hands, outside of their control. This truly is a big issue because a lot of the drugs include painkillers such as codeine, Tylenol 4, and Ozempic, many drugs that individuals rely on. And pharmaceutical companies that make Ozempic for type 2 diabetes are now dealing with such a shortage that it is truly impacting those who are obese in our communities, who desire and need these drugs. You can go to the Center for Disease Control and grow your knowledge on how you can help advocate for the pharmaceutical industry, how you can get information that will elevate what the shortage is, your knowledge base in the area where you live, your state, and our country. Patients are coming into pharmacies looking for regular drugs that they need, maybe after surgeries, and yet it still is causing an issue for painkillers and for those who need it for recovery. The Center for Disease Control has information readily available regarding this topic. We need you to be educated. Also, we want to share one more fact with Inside the News. There's an alarming epidemic, check this out, globally, where leading dementia patients having heart disease, stroke, even premature deaths are because of loneliness. Are you surprised? I'm not. The pandemic isolated many who relied on community as their lifeline. So much so that loneliness is a diagnosis. The Public Health Agency has announced many different international coalitions and commissions to take on the task of combating this global health concern. Social isolation is real. And it's not just someone who just seems to be depressed. Loneliness can cause individuals to experience health concerns. Heartache can cause a heart attack. Some individuals increase the numbers of cigarettes they smoke because of this anxiety, of this state of mind. Important that you know, because knowledge is power. And healing power can be just the human touch. Anyone, anywhere can be lonely and socially isolated. And it's across all ages, all regions, serious enough that it can cause community impacts. This includes the statistic that 1 out of 4 of our older adults, our aging population, those trailblazers who made and pioneers helped to set so many systems in place that we rely on, are now experiencing this in a great way. We need you to be educated, family. A global pandemic, the World Health Organization has elevated this as alarming, a need for us to pay attention and share the information and do something about it. Go to who.int. The World Health Organization, again, is a global advocate on what elevates that they're seeing across many countries, across many areas, regions that cause health concerns. This is one they've elevated. Let's be aware. Most of all, let's care. You have the power to make a difference where you are. It all starts with you. Family, we hope this information has been helpful. Remember, whether it's your neighbor next door or our neighbors across the water, we care. We're all one human race. We're looking forward to going into our next segment with an amazing guest. So stay tuned. There's more after this.
Life has its way of being sweet, and life has its way of being spicy.
You did not have to hit me there.
Girl,
hard.
I did not hit you that hard.
Anywho, life has its way of being hard, and life has its way of being easy. Join us every second Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time,
8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time
at the We Empower Network. Tune in to the Sweet
and Spicy
Podcast. Hope to see you there.
Bye.
Welcome back to the Power Up. We're so glad you're joining us today as we shine the light on career development during this National Career Development Month. Careers and job is important because that's the lifeline of our community. When you work, you eat, and you sustain the economic growth in your area. Total employment is projected to grow by almost 4.7 million just between 2022 and 2032, which is great for the United States. We brought in today one of our experts, a human capital expert. Listen, I'm excited to welcome today Dr. Sparkle, our very own guest. Miss Taneka Osborne is joining us, who is an expert in talent development. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having.
Absolutely. Absolutely. As we start the conversation, we want to remind folks that career development is not just about the job you get, but the fact that the work is part of your life. that discussion about having balance and enjoying what you do. Dr. Sparkle, more than 22 years you've been an expert in this field, based in the Tennessee area. Tell us what you would recommend to our watchers today who want to learn on how they can grow in career development.
Well, it's a mindset. First of all, I have to go to the mindset. You have to want to grow. You have to want to develop. It has to be a want. Nobody can make you want to do it. You have to want to do it. And I studied the statistics a lot. And in age groups, 20s is people that want to learn. They have the desire. In their 20s, they're excited about working. They're excited about their first corporate job and working in their field. They're excited. Then 30s, as you get to that 30 thing, you start like, I'm kind of burnt out. I've been doing this for a little while. I don't know if this is the career I want to stay in. So your mind keeps going back and forth. Like, do I want to stay in this field or do I want to go in another field? So that's kind of where the 30s. And then the 40s come. You like, I just want to make more money. They're not paying me enough. I have had my experience. I have did this job and this job, and they don't feel like they're being paid enough. The compensation just is not to their expectations. And then by the time they get to the 50, they're like, I'm trying to retire as quick as I possibly can. So that's known in the 20 to the 50s. That's kind of the average of what the mind start telling you or what you start feeling. But what I'm telling you, it's never too late. It's never too late to grow and to develop in any career that you want to go into. And what I have seen is people get frustrated too fast. They get frustrated.
Man, thank you for elevating that as a point, because the pandemic shined a big light on the need to shift in careers when many of the awesome the agencies that have been here forever all of a sudden downsized. People who paid into retirement lost it all, thinking they were going to retire from that agency. How about individuals who had to shift and find a brand new job, do a resume after 30 years when you're not on the typewriter with carbon paper anymore? So as an expert in this field, tell us what you've seen that has been most valuable with career shifts.
With people are getting a hunger again. It's like because they're going into the field that they have never been in before. So they're going back to the 20 and 30 age group because they're excited, they're hungry for something different, because the company that they were with for 30 years have now downsized. They have closed the door. So they start getting anxious about trying something different. So that is what I have seen. But what I have seen the employers need to do is get on track on that hunger. Like while they're hungry for it, we have, as an employer, the company itself and leaders, they got to get excited too. And it seems like the employees are getting excited and the employers. So it's getting them back together on one accord in this pandemic, after this pandemic, because we still got to make our money. We still got things to do, and we cannot continue to use pandemic as an excuse.
Yes, and the fact that individuals can start today to make a shift. You said something that I want to revisit, and we often get questions from viewers that ask on our career segments, am I too old to make this shift? Am I too young? What happens when I start something new? The fear factor that sets in. So I love that you started by talking about the mindset, but everyone doesn't have that. How can someone start thinking about a career versus just a job?
Oh, I love that so much because when I speak to people, I ask them, are you looking for a job or are you looking for a career? I want to know because if you need a job, I might have a position for you for just a job. If you want a career, I have another plan for you to go. So be honest with yourself of which one you want to do. Go ahead and be honest. If you are looking for just a job to pay your bills, there's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with that. But we think that that's a bad thing because I know that I'm just trying to come here for the money. And if you are looking for a career, then no, that's excellent. That is knowing what you want and need in your life at this appointed time. It changes. But at this appointed time, you have to really figure out what do you want and need in this time of your career or your job. And it's nothing wrong with working at Chick-fil-A, the retailers. They make good money. Believe it. People like, that's just a job. No, it's some people's career. And they're making great money as a cashier. But our minds is if you're not the president or you're not the leadership, if you're not the leader, then you're not doing great in your career. That's a lie. That is such a lie.
Man, what an amazing point. It's not that everybody has to be at the top, because if everybody was at the top, who would be the one where I want my Chick-fil-A sandwich? Or,
Yes.
I appreciate the fact that your passion is people. And you started with, what's your plan? What is it that you want? What advice do you give to individuals that don't have an answer to that question, that aren't sure where to start?
The people that don't want to start reading. Find you a book about leadership or shifting in careers. Find people like myself that you can talk to that can help you. And when you talk to the person, give yourself permission to be honest about your thoughts, about how you feel, and where you're looking to go. Be honest about it. And then once you're honest and you can go ahead and be honest, we will take that honesty and then we will switch it into your plan.
Yes.
Because if you know it, you just don't know how to pull it out. So sometimes you need someone to help you pull it out, but you know it.
Yeah, self-awareness, self-perspective is everything. It's one of the hardest things to do, though, to look in the mirror and have a real conversation with me and where I am and where I want to go. I appreciate your perspective, because when I hear you speak, even on other platforms, you speak vision forward. It's not about where you are right now. Even if it's what you need right now, there's still the dialogue about, let's develop a plan. Let's figure out how you can get what you need right now, but put yourself in position so you're better this time next year. You speak very much in different ways and on different platforms about being vision and future focused. Help those who are listening today who might be in that job they hate, the career they just absolutely would prefer not to be in. Maybe they love kids, but they're doing something totally different, or want to be in a hospital realm and they just are doing something. To speak to the people who need to shift and help them with how they can start.
Ooh, that's a good one. The people that need to shift, but you feel like you've been waiting forever. Girl, I understand. You've been doing the best. You've been the best cashier or customer service rep forever, and you feel like I just can't get a break. I can't get a chance. I would advise you to go ahead and start applying to places you think that does not fit to you. Start applying to those jobs that you like. I know they would never pick me. Well, first of all, don't go in there saying they're never going to pick me. Go ahead and apply to these jobs, because what I have seen is sometimes when you apply, I might not think you're a fit for the position that you have applied for, but I might think you're a good fit somewhere else in the company. So get your foot in the company, go ahead and shine in the company, and keep on going. So if you are in a place that you totally dislike, I would tell you it's time for you to start moving forward and start applying and going to other places that you want. Because if you're frustrated, then your work is going to show frustration. If you disappointed every day, your work is going to start showing your disappointment. It's been so many times I have done exit reviews and I have spoken with the person and I'll let them know, this is holding you back from life. This is holding you back from your next, because you totally have you dislike everything about it, the people, everything. So us letting you go is giving you an opportunity to go after what you really need and deserve. So I would tell you again that if you're in a place that you just like, I hate this job, I hate these people, and I'm tired of being in this career field, breathe in, breathe out, and let's come up with a plan. I'm going to go back to a plan. It's always a plan of action, always. But when you do the plan, don't always think you got to start at the top. You might have to start middle grade and work yourself up. I have seen it over and over and over again. But get out of the comfort zones, as Letta was saying.
I love it. Absolutely. Why not? Why not shift? Okay, staying in this vein, thank you for that perspective, because some people just need to hear, I don't have to be unhappy. I don't have to stay here and take this. I do deserve better. So thank you for reminding us of that. But let me ask you this, 22-year HR expert. So you've dealt with performance evaluations and people who don't get along with people and bosses issues. What if somebody decides to leave? What's the how? What do you recommend on how individuals should exit?
Please, if you don't hear anything else that I have said, when you decide to leave a company, leave correct, leave in a proper way, leave respectfully, leave where they are going to wish they wouldn't have let you walk out the door. And what do I mean by that? Put in at least a 2 weeks notice. And when you put in that 2 weeks notice, work that 2 weeks notice out. Work it out. I tell people, you give them even better, because when I left my job and I gave a 3 weeks notice, I worked my butt off, because when I walked out the door, I wanted them to know you made the worst decision you could ever make by letting me walk out the door. So I gave them all their equipment back. I didn't keep no cords. I didn't keep that special, that headset. I gave them all their things back that belonged to them. And then when I left letting them know, thank you. It was a pleasure working for you. And I thank you for what I have learned, but it's time to go. And I wish you the best. See, I walked away smiling from ear to ear, because I need them to know I am still the great woman that they hired from day one. So they saw greatness in me, and that's why they brought me on their team. And when I leave, I want them to still see the greatness on me as I turn my back and walk away.
Oh, yes, 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 because references matter. Thank you so much, Dr. Sparkle. Uh-oh, go ahead.
But people say references does not matter because of all the legal laws about references. Yes, but you never know who you might, that employer, that you company that you've been working for, that person that you just walked out of might be sitting in that very seat that you have to interview with, and that person know how you walked out. And not only that, it's a small world, ladies and gentlemen. When we get your names, believe me, we start calling colleagues that we used to, companies that we used to work for. Do you know such and such? Can you tell me something about such and such? I'm going on people go on your Facebook accounts, they go on your social media, they start looking at things. So be very careful what you put on your social medias, what you put on your resumes, because we got some people that be lying on resumes. You stretch them times out, and you stretch those duties out too. We already know that. Yes. So just be careful overall and do things respectfully.
Mm. Listen, you heard it from the source. One of the people that hires for a major corporation. You heard it, what she recommends. And we say that regularly, that one of the things you want to remember is when you submit a resume, it's supposed to be the best picture of you, that people who get 300 of them have to 2 minutes to go through and figure out why they would call you. But here's the thing, if your email is partygirl1000, that might be all someone sees, and it may make a difference in whether they move forward. They have 2 minutes to skim and decide, do I want this person representing me in a board meeting, answering my calls, and knowing that it's high energy in this corporation and I need them to be able to maintain professional demeanor? Thank you for elevating all of those issues, because you're absolutely right. Social media matters, and how you exit, thank you, matters. But Dr. Sparkle, before I let you go, um, I want to give this opportunity to you. You are an empowerment speaker, you are a motivator, you do so much to pour into others. And we would be remiss if we didn't allow these last few minutes for you to have an opportunity to pour into folks who may feel stuck. Maybe they might feel like they're in that struggle. And please share what you feel would be best.
Well, first of all, I want to tell you, you are amazing. I want you to look yourself in the mirror and remind yourself that you are amazing. And today is a new day, and every day is a new day. It's never too late to start learning new tasks and new opportunities, and take out time to renew your mind and let some things go. Detoxing the mind is so important, because if you keep that mind cluttered up, it's no way that you can let some new things in. So it's time to detox and renew so that you can go out and be the best version of you. Let go of the past and move forward, because today is your day to start over.
Be the best version of you, family. Thank you so much, Dr. Sparkle. Family,
Thank
you can
you.
reach her directly if you'd like to. She is an amazing global phenomenon in herself. Certainly on the We Empower Network, she is part of many different platforms, having her own show, so you can tune into her content. Thank you so much, Miss Sparkle, Dr. Sparkle, who you can also find on as Taneka Osborne. We appreciate the light you are in the world and for sharing your expertise. Also for agreeing to come back to discuss career development in the future. Family, we're excited. I told you this segment was going to be powerful. But if you stay tuned, there's more after this.
Hi, guys. It's Tina Wynn, your host of the podcast, You See Me. I want you guys to stay encouraged, continue to come out and see me, and most importantly, see yourselves. Remember, the only way that you can truly enjoy life is to see other people so that you can enjoy the beauty of seeing yourself. Come join me Saturdays at 4 on the We Empowered Network. Thank you.
What's up, family? It's your girl, Terry Y. Hicks of the amazing Fab Five, and I am here to tell you to tune into the Empowered Morning Show Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the WIN Network.
Welcome back, family. Glad you joined us. Stay tuned to all of the wonderful information and content that we're sharing so that we can all grow together, ultimately to elevate our communities and empower those around us. So let's go forward into our health front. Well, this month is both Men's Health Month and Diabetes Awareness Month. We're going to elevate the fact that our brothers need love. So if you hadn't heard it lately, gentlemen, we want you to know you matter. You matter to us. You matter to our community. You matter to the world. A lot of times we don't say thank you. We throw demands and expect you to meet them, and you do. But hear from the Power Up today how your health is important. First, we want men to go to webmd.com. WebMD has amazing resources that's just for men's health. They have an entire resource page that touches on things that can help your body, how food can make a difference, the exercises that you can do, your mental health, all that can help make you a powerful you. Consider, brothers, tapping into the information in WebMD. And sisters, share it with our brothers. You can send them resources. Listen, screenshot information, text it to them, post it on your social media pages, along with those shout outs to the men in your family and community, those who do make a difference. As single moms, many times it's the coaches that help our young men grow to be amazing young men, the teachers, especially the male ones that they get to see as role models. But how we support them is what makes a difference. Brothers, you matter. We need you to be the best you possible. Go to webmd.com and tap into their resource page so that you can get all that they have. Do you know, as we discuss diabetes, which impacts so many men, that 38.4 million people in the United States have diabetes? 30.4 million. That's 11% of the United States population. Multiple, 8.7 are even undiagnosed, living with high sugar, living with what impacts your heart, your lungs, your circulatory system, because diabetes impacts how the blood flows to your heart and family. We all need a pumping heart. Diabetes is the leading cause of blindness worldwide. Do you know that there are things we can do to live longer, healthier, and better. And adults with diabetes are twice as likely to die from heart disease and stroke. So you need to know where you stand. You need to know the early symptoms, what your body's doing from year to year. That's why physicals are so important. Brothers, a lot of times, deal with the mentality that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And that includes your health. It's better to go, and wait until you're sitting 7 hours in a ER waiting room to have to deal with something that could have taken an ounce of prevention. That's better than a pound of cure. In other words, the time you spend on you, being the best you, most times are daily habits. Small things you can incorporate in your diet to just help you live well, help you be better. Yes, physical activity is important because a lot of times the stress that we take on every day, we internalize. When you even just walk, give yourself that 30 minutes to exercise, to sweat a little, to move, to get on that bike. How about just to boogie? Makes a difference because it allows you to release the stress. Stress is a key impact to how it impacts your heart. If you notice that you get tight chest a lot, if you notice that your shoulders having regular pain, note the signs of heart attack so that you're prepared and doing something about it on the front end. We would sure rather hear your story than read your obituary. And there are little things you can do. How about not eating a whole rack of ribs at one time? Smaller portions. Portion control helps your stomach to digest, helps your numbers to go down. Tips that help you get better as you age and deal with diabetes, deal with how your body's going to change. You're not going to swallow the same when you're 90. Your energy level isn't the same as you age. Gravity takes over in a lot of ways. And that's outside of just the gray hair and the bald spots and the wrinkles. See, that's what your mirror shows you. What about what you can't see that's on the inside? Yeah. Part of our aging population struggle is how to eat healthy and deal with the ailments that they deal with in their older age. That in your 40s, 30s, 50s, you could have started shifting nutrition, your diet, change certain things, added smoothie Fridays, added that salad twice a week, substituted red meat so you're not eating it 3 days in a row to allow your stomach an opportunity to digest, and ultimately you don't have a back pain, you're in stomach cramps. The acid reflux can calm. See, if there are things that you're feeling, symptoms that are abnormal, then you want to talk to your doctor to get on the front end of how you can work that thing out to be a better you. Your children need you in the best possible scenario, and that's here. Time is important. We all have a transition date. It's what you do while you're here that helps you be an amazing and you, one that lives a phenomenal life. If laughing every day is prescribed by a doctor, that means it works. Find ways to get out of the funk, out of the stress, out of the strain, and elevate the corpuscles, the part of your brain that needs to be released from joy. Laughter really is a medicine. Family, especially our brothers, need emotional strength. They need to know that somebody's got their back too. We often look for them to be the one to carry us all, and they do it so well. But emotionally, you know how many men I counsel, how many coaches, couples, and most men say, saying thank you really makes a difference. Showing gratitude to your husband, to your brother, your uncle, the one who picks up the kids, takes them. How often do you show gratitude to them? Let us elevate our male community and let them know they matter. Sometimes it's not just sending them to a football game or a basketball game that you know would totally make their year. Sometimes it's small things, their favorite football team memorabilia, just paying for dinner. Babe, thank you for doing the run today. Let me massage your back. How about, boo, you get rest? I'm going to pick up the kids today. Enjoy your TV show. Again, small things of gratitude. And how about visiting our grandparents, the ones that are in the senior centers? Mailing that card. Don't you know they'd love to get that random text message? They matter too. They carried your parents from baby to grown and now are there whenever you call and need money. Come on. Let us take this opportunity to care. Men's Health Month is elevated so that we're all aware. And Diabetes Awareness Month is as well. Please take time to go to the International Diabetes Federation, IDF.org. Resources focused just on living, treating, and preventing diabetes. Diabetes doesn't have to be a death sentence. You don't have to prick your finger forever. And there's new technology where you don't even have to prick your finger anymore. If you need those daily readings, there's ways you can get them. But knowledge is power. Talk to your pediatrician, your pharmacist to get over-the-counter drugs, your pediatrician if you know the children are dealing with a diagnosis of diabetes, to help them get on the front end as they grow through life, and your physician with those regular physicals so that you can compare your blood work each year to see where you are. See what happens inside. You don't see. You start to feel when something's wrong, but then what do you do about it? So often we like to self-diagnose. Yeah, oh, I'll just take something. Oh, I'll just do ice. Go to the resources that are available to you from medical experts. So at least you can see the list of symptoms posted on webmd.com. So you can see that if this is happening, it could be a trigger. That if you're taking these medications, these could be side effects. That these are resources that you can go to get information. If your feet hurt all the time, that's a symptom of diabetes. Don't wait till it's too late, family. The International Diabetes Federation, they're also to provide resources to help our brothers, because we need you to continue to change the world. The gifts and the talents that you have, we need now more than ever. Come on and step out the box and live your dreams too, out loud and on purpose. We thank the Power Up production team for feeling this was so important to elevate. Men's health is important because it's family health, community health. So we hope this information was helpful. But stay tuned as we go into our wrap up. There's more after this.
Hey everybody, this is Regina Hutt, the wellness practitioner on Empowered Mornings. We'd like to invite you every Wednesday night, 8 p.m., uniquely and gorgeous, to keep your mind locked and loaded on WIN Network. Hey, 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 how you guys doing? This is Regina Hutt, the wellness practitioner at Empower Mornings. Join me every Monday at noon to work out with Regina on One Network.
Welcome back, family. We're so glad that you joined us today. What an amazing show. We started out with Inside the News, shedding the light on the increased measles epidemic elevated by the World Health Organization. Please tap into the World Health Organization because they also elevated the epidemic of loneliness that they're seeing worldwide. Isolation has taken a mental and physical toll on every country across the planet. They're sounding this alarm to help elevate your awareness so we're educated and we can make a difference with the neighbors around us. The World Health Organization can share information, also shares information on the measles epidemic, how you can protect your children, your community with education and vaccination. Tap into what they have available for you. Also, you can go to the Center for Disease Control, cdc.gov, pardon me, has discussed the shortage pharmacies are experiencing of common drugs. Yeah, so if you're used to getting some diabetes medications, some painkillers, and you've been experiencing a delay where the pharmacies are waiting on these drugs, it's because there is a national shortage. Get educated so that you can plan in advance. This isn't the first time medications have been short. However, knowledge is power. If it's a medication you need to live, don't wait. Figure out what you need to do to be prepared over those months of the shortage. We've educated and elevated you that there is an issue. Now you can be the one to make a difference. Check on those grandparents who rely on the medications. Find out where they are in their dispensers. Find out what they need as well. The neighbors who you know are aging, check with them too. Do you know that you can help your entire community just by sharing this information? The measles epidemic, the loneliness, the isolation, and the mental and physical toll. Too many individuals are having heart attacks. And now the shortage in our pharmacies to common drugs. We need you to know what's inside the news. We also were grateful that we were joined by the powerful Dr. Sparkle. Taneka Osborne joined us with more than 20 years of HR experience to share everything from how you can shift in your career to how to leave your career respectfully and to remind you that you don't have to be stuck. It starts with a mental decision. I'm not going to live like this anymore. I want to be different. And you know what? I deserve to be different too. I want to do this. Let's get a plan. And then tapping into the expertise around you. We're grateful Dr. Sparkle joined us today. We look forward to having her back as we continue to discuss career development in the future. Then we moved into our health front, reminding brothers that we need you and need you well. Consider tapping into the resources available on WebMD, how you can get information that touches anything about manhood and men's health. How you can get everything from podiatry tips, sleeping tips, exercise tips, nutrition tips, mental health tips, emotional well-being. We need you 100%, not just pretending to be for us, but whole as you were created to be. Consider also making sure that you tap into the diabetes information available at the International Diabetes Federation page, dedicated to educate you on prevention and how to find a cure, how to live with the diagnosis. Because, honey, I have a diagnosis, but I share with everyone, I'm not the face of a disease, I'm the face of victory. I've learned how to advocate with the diagnosis and elevate, educate, and empower others so that we're all doing this thing called life together so that we can enjoy this body. Aches and pains are going to happen. You need to be educated. Go to idf.org, go to webmd.com to get health tips so that you can be better. And as we're in our wrap-up segment, we want to take a minute to highlight that it's Hunger and Homelessness Awareness Week across the United States. The reason this is important is because 2.5 million children don't deserve to live on the streets of the United States of America. See, individuals like to stigmatize hunger and homelessness. They like to stigmatize the fact that there's food disparities in certain communities where individuals lift their nose and act like those people are below them. Honey, many are just one paycheck away. And honestly, the pandemic showed how some of the most viable agencies can crumble when pressure comes. We ought not judge those who are asking for help. When you know you have a paycheck coming and can spare $1 or $2 walking past that individual, because you're so worried about what they're going to do with the money that you forget that you're in position to be a blessing. I know of many families, having worked in homelessness for more than 25 years, who are working poor. Let me give you an example. Family of 5 living in their car because they can't afford the rent. She works at the gas station and he works at a local store. Well, between the two of them, they're making minimum wage with 5 children. And here's the thing, for someone that wants to say, well, nobody told them to have all those kids. Let me tell you, their story is so complex that when their sister passed, they took on 3 of her children so they wouldn't have to experience the foster care system. So they did something heroic to help make sure they could care and keep a family together, and are struggling day to day. Now, they're working, so you can't call them bums, which sadly is a term I despise that individuals call those who are home deprived. Because if you look at the rents in your area, you'll notice that those with $100,000 incomes are struggling. The mortgages are high, interest rates high. And if you're not aware, we are living in a time of inflation. So I'm glad you tuned in today. We need you to get educated on how you can make a difference. Individuals don't just want to be hungry. No one wants to be homeless. There are issues that cause us in life to deal with scenarios. No one wants to face eviction. There are folks who do their due diligence, go to work, and they help businesses and executives who make a lot of money live high on the hog while they can barely survive. How can you help? HHweek.org highlights hunger and homelessness. Now, it really is for the entire month, but there's ways you can focus your time right now, your efforts right now. And do you know that anything you donate to a local shelter or to a youth program, to elderly homeless programs, how about veteran homeless programs? Do you know that whatever you donate is tax deductible? So you win in the end. Not only are you giving, not only are you being a blessing, but you get to write it off too. Family, it's time that we elevate our minds and remember we can be the local humanitarian effort here in the United States. Housing is possible, but putting everybody in a house is not always the fix. There's social services individuals need. Some folks do need jobs. They need employment. Some individuals need new skills. A lot of folks need help. You can be the help. Go to hhweek.org and get educated. Also, go to HUD.gov to learn of the astounding statistics of how homelessness has increased in this USA. Do you know that as of 2020, homeless population has increased in 27 states? It is doubled in many cities. And most homeless people, you ready, are found at the highest rates in California, New York, Florida, and even the state of Washington and Washington, D.C. HUD conducts an annual homeless assessment report. They do on the coldest night of the year what's called a pit count, a point in time count, where individuals, even politicians, go on the streets in the middle of the night to count the actual people on the coldest night in January who are sleeping on benches, in cars, under bridges, on grates over subway systems, to get an actual count of how many people are experiencing homelessness on the street. And sadly, many are children. Family, you can make a difference. Let us not judge, because but by the grace of God could be you. Go to HUD.gov and get educated on the programs, on how you might be included in the pit count, because you have the opportunity to make an impact. We want to end our show today by reminding you that the upcoming Thanksgiving holiday is a great opportunity for you to do a day of service. The Power of Teen will not be live on next Friday. We are going to have a day of service where we will serve at homeless shelters and programs around the country. It is our obligation not just to sit back and talk about the pilgrims who came and took land or met with those who are already here, the indigenous folks who are in their homes. It's more so an opportunity to be thankful and make a difference to individuals who are in need. So let's build on it being Homelessness and Hunger Month and go find a way to volunteer and make a difference. You can be the impact that's needed. As we end this show, we want to give a special shout out to the family of Aaron Spears. Aaron Spears was an amazing musician, supported many of the popular artists I can just run down and name. He was international, and his family, father, a pastor in the DC area, mom who's made a difference. Aaron leaves a wife and a son. Amazing life he lived. Google the name Aaron Spears and see his impact. Young and still made a difference, not just on the drums, but in communities around the globe. Family, as we remember Aaron, my question to you is, what are you doing to impact where you are? You never know when your transition will come. What we know is we need you right now more than ever. We thank you for joining the Power Up today. We extend gratitude to our veterans, military, 911 responders, and medical personnel. And we look forward to you joining us next time.